Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Adding some color to the Ganesh, and I had quite some luck with different voltages today. 27 volts gives you this nice blue color. 36 volts, if you can, if you have a steady hand, can give you some rainbow colors. I'll make a few of both because depending on my audience. But I want to talk a little bit about my recent burnout with my bismuth art. I ended up taking a break yesterday briefly, and today I'm just going to do anodizing because there's not nearly as much prep work and tear down after doing this compared to the actual smelting. See, I learned as a kid that we needed to diversify, right? So diversify your income, right? Don't just do your day job, do something else that can bring in some side income. And so at the same time, I also learned that we shouldn't spread ourselves too thin. And lately, those two things have been really at odds in my life, right? I have diversified my income, but at the same time, lately, I find I have very little time for anything else, especially now that I've returned to the dating scene. What really drives me nuts is that as somebody who is not married, I'm expected to do all these things, even though I have to potentially meet the right person, right? So I recently got invited to a wedding, and then I remembered I have to give a gift, and I'm thinking to myself, gee, I need a gift. I think the people who are getting married ought to be the ones providing a gift, so that, you know, it'd be nice if I could have something like right now I'm trying to return to the dating scene. You know, I have been on a couple dates in recent weeks. It'd be nice if I had some money to do that, right? Not only do I have to come up with money to do, and then I have to buy a wedding gift for somebody who is fortunate enough to have already gone through that phase in their life. Right? Does that make sense to you? And then later on, the people that I don't work with, these people that I'm invited to the wedding to, but after I go to their wedding, eventually they have a baby, and then the wife needs me to donate my paid time off so she could tend to her maternity issues, right? When she's fortunate enough to have met, hopefully the right person, and have gotten all this wedding gifts, right? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I actually have a funny story about wedding gifts. A couple years ago, I was upset for the same reason about having to buy a wedding gift, and I joked with it was the husband that I knew, and I joked with him, you know, I'm just about to take a vacation to overseas to hopefully meet my future wife. How about this? Instead of buying you a wedding gift, I'll take what I should have spent on the wedding gift. Maybe it's $300, and I'll use it to meet my future partner. And someday, when you come to my wedding, you can be excused from buying a gift for me as well. Deal? And he laughed at it, and he reluctantly said, okay, come to my wedding anyway. Don't worry about it. I felt badly. So at the time, I had a different passion in terms of art. I made him he's a Japanese guy. I made him a shogi board game set using plywood, and then a couple years later, I was planning to have a ceremony for my relationship with myself. And I invited him over, and I was going to have the ceremony. It got canceled because some other solosexual guy in Wuhan decided to eat something funny. And I think he's a solosexual guy because people who are in relationships generally don't go out and try new foods, right? And I reminded my friend that he didn't have to buy me a gift because, like we said, right, it turned out my relationship was a little bit different than his. And he says, you know the funny thing? I still have that gift you gave me years ago, right? All the other gifts are now probably sitting in a landfill somewhere. And that gave me a nice warm fuzzy feeling. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the luxury of just randomly giving people paid time off or lavish gifts anymore. Now that I'm nervous about having to diversify my income and no work-life balance anymore, and I used to be a little bit too extravagant with that, and it's coming to bite me, unfortunately. I want to have some more work-life balance, but again, I want to be able to diversify my income stream, and those two things seem to be a little bit at odds with one another, right? So anyway, I gave my friend an interesting gift, and it was the only gift he kept for 3 years, and then I tried to invite him to a ceremony of mine, which we had to cancel because somebody in my same situation decided to try a new food and probably had a good time, but unfortunately we had to try something new for a year and a half after that. And it was not the end of the world. I discovered a new place to live, I wrote a few computer games, and I discovered Bismuth art, right? It wasn't the end of the world. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum.